Today I'll be showing you how to turn any bundle into tape-in hair extensions. This process is very easy, simple, and plus the results are spectacular and look incredibly natural. Welcome. Over here we do videos on affordable and effective skincare, beauty and hair care. So if that sounds like something you'll be interested in, I would really appreciate it if you could show support by subscribing. Now let's get on with the video. The bundles I'll be using today are by a company called Junoda hair. The length is in 16 inches and we will be using all 4 bundles to get complete coverage. However, if you have longer hair, you may not need as much bundles as me. Now these bundles are perfect for converting into tape-in extensions because the weft is sleek, which will make the end results look natural and seamless. Plus, this texture is so sexy. It reminds me of a velvety silk press. It should match my relaxed hair perfectly. For the first step, we'll need to completely unravel the bundles. If you're using curly hair extensions, you may get a little bit of tangles. Just make sure the hair is fully detangled before we move on to the next step. I purchased these tapes from Amazon. Each packet contains 180 pieces of extension tape. They are also really affordable too. Mine were $5.99 each packet. However, I think it was a bit overkill me purchasing 4 packets, but it's better to have more than to run out halfway through. In a nutshell, these extension tapes are practically just double-sided tape but for hair. Each tape is cut up into bite-sized pieces and stuck onto a sheet. Now to remove them, it's extremely easy. You could either use your nails or a tweezer. Once you peel it off the sheet, the back of the tape will be very sticky. Once you peel it off the back end, you should have one sticky side and one side that still has the protective film. You do not want to remove this protective film as yet. If this is your first time trying this, I suggest that you cut off a tiny piece of weft to practice. All you need to do is place the sticky side flat on the weft and press it in firmly. During this time, you can remove the tape and adjust it if you like. However, it's better to get it right on the first time because if you keep on removing the tape, it can lose stickiness. And once you're happy with the placement, just use your hair straighteners for about 10 seconds to melt the tape into the hair extensions. This step is extremely important. If you skip this step and then try to install your tape ends, the tape will separate from the hair extension and then you'll just be left with glue or tape in your hair. Sometimes I even go over it twice with a flat iron just to make sure this doesn't happen. Practice as much as you need to make sure that you get your technique right and also to make sure that you are comfortable. Once you are comfortable, you can move on to the big weft and we are going to follow the same steps. Peel a tab off, place a tab on. The only thing that we are going to do differently is move straight on to the second tab instead of using the flat iron. This will help the process move a lot faster because it is kind of tedious, but don't worry, once we've filled the entire weft with tape, we're going to use our flat irons afterwards. Now that we have finished applying the tabs to our weft, it should look something like this. A continuous weft with continuous tabs all across it. Now it's time to do that really important step that I said to not forget about, and that's to apply heat to the tabs to make sure it sticks properly. And I will be applying heat to each tab for 10 to 20 seconds. Last but not least, cut the wefts into tiny bite-sized pieces. You want to make sure that your scissors are not going to cut the actual hair, just where the tab and the weft is, and that will help us minimize shedding. Now you have completely finished one bundle of tape-ins, and this is what it should look like after. Altogether, I think I had about 50 to 60 tapes per bundle, and each bundle took me about 20 to 30 minutes to complete. This is the shedding that I had afterwards, basically none. I have been holding a huge secret back from you guys. For about a year, I've suffered with a condition called trichotillomania, but not to get into it, I lost a lot of hair. And when I say a lot of hair, I mean bald to my scalp. I've finally grown my hair all back to one even length. I'm actually quite blessed to make such a good recovery. I know people suffer with it for years, but I waited for all my hair to kind of grow out so that I could braid it, and then I cut all the excess off, and this is what I have now. I'm so happy to just have a full head of hair again, and what a better way to celebrate than to try out DIY tape-in extensions. And just like as if you were going to do a weave on, you need to plan out what kind of leave out you're going to have. This was the pattern that I chose because I normally wear middle parts, and you can't see right now, but I also left some leave out at the back as well. And the entire rest of my hair is going to be filled with tape-ins. And these are all the tapes. My gosh, there are so many. I was planning to do it all in one day, make the tapes and tape them all in, but I just didn't have time for that. It was too much. So here I have about 200 to 240 tape-ins. I also dyed 4 pieces for my money pieces at the front. I have made a video before on how to tape in tape-ins, and I'll leave that video down in the description box below, but all I do is part a tiny piece of hair. I peel off the protective backing and then stick the tape in onto the end of a rat tail comb. This just helps with the application. Once I find that my tape is in the correct place, I then press my own hair onto the sticky part of the tape, make sure all my hair is in there, and then I get another tape in and place it on top, and this is called the sandwich method. Once you're happy with the placement of your tape in, you then take your flat iron, just as we did in the beginning steps, and warm up the tape for about 10 to 20 seconds, and you cannot skip this step. You have to do it, otherwise your tape-ins will just fall out, and it's literally that simple. Also, you want to make sure you have no products in your hair, so you want to wash your hair and use no conditioner. Either blow out your hair or let it air dry, but absolutely no conditioner until you have finished installing the hair. I'm so glad that I learned how to do this. If you've purchased tape-ins before, you know that you don't get a lot in your bundle. They normally give you about 100 grams, and that's including the actual tape on there too. However, if you make a bundle yourself, you almost get double of what you get if you was to purchase it already made, which saves you tons of money in the long run. Altogether, the installation took me about an hour and a half. If you have someone to help you, the time will probably go a lot quicker than it did for me. This is what my hair looked like a quarter way done. And this is how I sleep with my tape-ins in, just a high bun with either a satin scarf or a satin headband. And I don't really wear my hair in buns, but you can see that you can rock this in a bun. And as you can see, it works on extremely short hair. So guys, this is what it looked like in the end. I love tape-ins so much. I'm so glad that I discovered this. They are way lighter than any sewing I've ever had in my life, even with the weft still attached to these tape-ins. Comment down below if you would try this yourself. You could also try this with clip-ins. So if you have old clip-ins, you can make them into tape-ins. I'm so happy that I found like a go-to hairstyle that I'm going to be wearing while I grow out my hair. But we have come to the end of the video, guys. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you would try DIY tape-ins yourself, let me know down below how the process goes for you. And as always, I will see you in the next video.